Well, the crash is coming. Many economists are saying that we are about to face some tough times, and that's true. But today, I want to give you a warning, but also explain why what this warning pertains to is a good thing. What is happening right now is crazy, but Goldman Sachs is even coming out and warning millions of Americans to be prepared because what is coming is inevitable. It is going to happen. I'm going to explain all this in just a moment, explain why millions are going to feel the pain, but why many are going to find a way to get through it. Now, there's some problems. We're going to address those, so make sure you stick around and watch this entire video, and I'll explain exactly what is going on. But first, all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So we know the crash is coming, but exactly what is it going to look like and when will it begin? Well, look at this. It says Trump is set to unveil expansive global tariffs. It says the president on Wednesday will announce sweeping tariffs that he says will restore fairness to the global trading system. That is today. Today is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. This is what President Trump is calling Liberation Day. Now, is it the tariffs that is going to cause this crash? Well, yes and no. What you need to understand is that when President Trump imposes tariffs of potentially 20% on all these other countries, what it's going to do is this is going to cause the American people to think, to reevaluate where they stand, if they need a certain product from another country. Do I need that tequila from Mexico? Do I need that furniture from China? Do I need those car parts or that car from Canada? Maybe, maybe not. But this is where millions of Americans are going to have to reevaluate. That's where it's going to be key. Now, I want to show you something. This is a warning from Goldman Sachs. It says Goldman Sachs sees Trump tariffs spiking inflation, stunting growth, and raising recession risks. Yeah. Right now, Goldman Sachs, I believe they have the recession probability at 35%. Okay? Some are saying it's really a 50-50. But also listen to this. Okay? When we impose tariffs on another country, and President Trump has already said this, I've said it multiple times as well, is that we are going to see short-term pain. But with short-term pain, we should see some more long-term gain. Look at this right here. This is from Bloomberg. It says, could tariffs raise $700 billion a year, not without pain? It says only a few countries have tariffs as high as the Trump administration is proposing, and they are all much poorer than the U.S. Now, here's the thing. The other countries do have tariffs, but what you need to keep in mind is that some of those other countries do not have what the United States has to offer. Okay? The greatest economy in the world. Okay? So again, the amount of money we spend is absolutely insane. We purchase everything. Okay? So keep that in mind. That yes, we could raise $600 to $700 billion a year through tariffs. That would be massive. And the reason why that's massive is because we can then take that $600 to $700 billion that we've been paying to the federal government in the form of taxes, and we can go and get that money from other countries. Okay? We can go and charge other countries for this. Now I know, essentially, this is a tax that the American people are going to pay for it. This is the short-term gain, or the short-term pain for that long-term gain. But if we can weather through this storm, that is where economists are saying millions of Americans are not ready. They don't have money sitting on the sideline. They have no cash saved up. Everything's invested into stocks. They have money in their home. They have cars. They have credit card debt. They don't have cash. You need to be sitting on cash. Okay, this isn't financial advice. This is just what I'm doing, but you need to be sitting on some cash. Because when it's time to deploy that cash, You need to be able to do it. Listen to this. Economists say the pain is going to come. The crash is imminent. It says people will simply stop buying products once prices go up to a certain point. And we've seen this before. We saw it during the pandemic where prices were going up, then wages go up, and prices and wages, but eventually wages stop. We've already seen wages somewhat stop, but prices are about to jump. If we see prices jump, all the American people have to do is not buy those products. Decide, you know what? I'm not going to spend $8 for a thing of Oreos. I'm not going to spend $120 on a pour tequila. Yeah, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to spend $180 on a very terribly constructed end table. Just not going to do it. So eventually, that company that was selling that $180 end table or the $270 coffee table that was pretty much made out of cardboard, well, they're going to have to lower their prices. And as they lower their prices, that's where the American people start to buy. They got to figure out where is that price point, that sweet spot. So, they say eventually those companies that are selling those products will start making their goods in the United States to avoid tariffs. Not all of them will, but many will. When they do that, that's going to create the positive outcome that the United States was looking for and that President Trump was asking for. Bring jobs back to the United States. That's what he wants. I want to show you a couple other things though. Look at this. It says recession odds are rising as Trump's trade war escalates, according to Goldman Sachs. I want to read you a few of these things though. Look at this right here. Okay. These are just some key points. It says Goldman Sachs expects aggressive duties from the White House to raise inflation and unemployment and drag economic growth to a near standstill. Here's the key. Raise inflation. We are about to see inflation go up. It's a little concerning. Not only is it going to go up, we're going to see unemployment. Okay? That's going to go up as well. Now, here's what you need to keep in mind. President Trump has been trying to urge the federal, the Fed, okay, to try to lower their interest rates. And they're trying to lower interest rates, but by doing so, it will cause the American people to spend more. If we see inflation go up, the Federal Reserve should actually raise rates to go up to bring inflation down. Well, here's the reason why this is important. And this is why some are saying we are going to dip into a recession. What they're saying is that the Federal Reserve may need to cut rates in order to stimulate the economy because tariffs are going to crash the markets. We are going to see tariffs really impact the American people where millions of Americans are going to stop spending altogether. That's what's about to happen. Now, it's not going to happen over a couple days. It's likely going to take several months or potentially a year to see the American people just stop spending. We've already run out of money. Our savings accounts are drained. Credit cards are maxed out. People have taken second and third loans on their homes. Okay? They've paid off vehicles and then went to go get another loan on that vehicle just to ensure that they had some money to keep that vehicle, to keep the insurance, to keep putting gas and maintaining it. Again, it's a huge issue. But the reason why I'm telling you all this is because according to Goldman Sachs, and they're warning the American people, it's coming. Okay? This is coming. But as we see our growth drop, okay? Look at this. It says the firm raised its forecast for inflation this year to 3.5, cut its GDP outlook to just 1%, and raised its unemployment view to 4.5%. Now, other than this number right here for inflation, the other two numbers are important. If GDP grows by only 1%, that's pretty flat. And if we don't see the American people spend money, businesses can't grow. Okay, we're seeing less tax revenue. But not only that, unemployment is going up to 4.5%. The Federal Reserve has two jobs. Okay? They want to see price stability and maximum employment. Price stability means, again, if inflation's going up, that's not good. But if we see unemployment jump to 4.5%, that's not maximum employment. So this is why experts believe the Fed might need to cut rates in order to help stimulate the economy. The tariffs will impose pain, and the Fed must work with President Trump to minimize that pain for individuals and businesses alike. That's what we're hearing. So, at the end of the day, there's going to be short-term pain, but we should see some long-term gain. As far as when it's going to come, again, I don't know. It's all up to the American people. It's all up to you and I and Joey down the street and Pam and Phyllis and everybody to contribute. But that's what we know as of today. So again, Goldman Sachs and other financial institutions are warning that pain is coming. But be prepared. Have cash on the sideline. Pay off debt. Be ready to go, because eventually it's going to be time to buy and invest. So, as we know, that's really it as of today. But as we get more information, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get them. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.